Okay, I believe we've now gone live. Thank you all for attending. I would like, we'll do an introductions in a moment, but before I do that, I just wanted to say, all those present and intending to speak, to introduce themselves, please, and what relationship you have with the applicant as well, please.
Do you want me to start first, or?
Yes, we're just doing introductions, Mr. Panchal. Yes, please introduce yourself, and if your client can introduce himself.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Panchal from Personal License Courses UK Limited. I'm representing Mr. Gurmeet, who's here along with me. I will be speaking on behalf of Gurmeet and representing him, Gurpreet Singh.
Thank you, Gurpreet.
So I'm the Gurpreet Singh here. So
Anjali, do you want to introduce yourself because you're going to be representing?
Yeah, sure. Anjali Garcher, Team Lead for Licensing Processing, London Borough of Ealing.
Okay, and we also have with us Nadeem Rafiq, but we'll come to that in a moment. Okay, now I'm going to explain today's procedure to everybody so that everybody knows how the hearing is going to go, the virtual hearing today, 13th of July, 22. It's for Kopernik, 588 to 592 Greenford Road in Greenford, Uniform Bravo 6 8QU, which is in the central Greenford ward. Welcome to today's hearing. My name is Councillor Jemu, and I shall be chairing the meeting. My colleagues, Councillor Jessel and Councillor Ball, and I comprise of today's subcommittee. Keith Broomfield, who is the clerk to the subcommittee, will be minuting the meeting. Alison Luff is the legal advisor to the subcommittee, and Anjali Garcher from the licensing processing team will introduce the report. In accordance with the procedure, I shall invite the licensing officer to introduce the report and provide clarification on any factual issues. I will then invite the applicant to present the application, answer any questions, and call any witnesses. And I will then invite those who've made representations, or in this case, objections, to make their a representation and answer any questions and call any witnesses accordingly. At the conclusion of the hearing, the subcommittee, accompanied by the legal advisor and the committee Democrat Services Officer, will retire to consider its decision. The decision will be given at the end of the meeting at approximately, probably around about 4 o'clock today, and will later be confirmed in writing as well. And if for whatsoever reason the panel cannot reach a decision today, you'll be notified in writing within 5 working days of the panel's decision. Okay, thank you. Right, I will go back to our my agenda now. I am now going to invite our licensing officer to introduce the application.
Thank you, Chair. So the application before you today is made by Mr. Gurpreet Singh, and it's for a premises license in relation to Kopernik, located at 588-592 Greenford Road, Middlesex, UB6 8QU. And the licensable activities applied for are the supply of alcohol off the premises, Monday to Saturday, 8 AM to 2300 hours, and Sunday, 10 AM to 2230 hours. The subject premises is currently a Polish supermarket, and it's not located within a special policy area as defined in the Council Statement of Licensing Policy. There was one representation received for this application, and that's from Mr. Nadeem Rafiq, who's a resident. If I can assist you any further, Chair.
I think that's all for now. Thank you, Anjali. Okay, now I will invite the applicant to present the application. And I believe, Mr. Panchal, you are representing?
Yes, Chairman, if you wish, so I'll go ahead.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chair. for allowing me to present this application. Chair, we put this application in on behalf of Kopernik. Gurpreet Singh is the license holder and the DPS of the premises. Kopernik is a branch, about 7 to 10 branches now. They've been in business for the last 7 to 8 years in this. Some of the Slough is more than 8 years. And they have had no problems or have not undergone any problems or breaches of licensing acts. The corporation works under a very strict promotion of 4 licensing objectives at all the times. And all staff working at Kopernik are fully trained. They have a training system that Personal License Courses UK Limited look after. They have training manuals. They follow the licensing objectives very robustly. Gurpreet Singh has also worked before in Slough, 7 Days Food and Wine Limited, which was then sold off, and had joined the Kopernik here. He has had no breaches or understands the 4 licensing objectives very well. Ma'am, what we are trying to suggest here, that I'm going to go straight away to the objector because that will be much easier for me. You have seen the conditions on your bundle on page 19. If you look at your page 19 of the bundle, we've had all the licensing conditions laid out. Kopernik will not sell or not invite street traders, which is very important in the area that the objector is worried about. There will be no single cans of alcohol sold. There will be no 6% or above of beer, wine, and cider in cans sold at the premises, which all of the premises are doing that. There is a Kopernik opposite this. This is a second branch of Kopernik, right opposite the present one. There will be no miniatures sold at this Kopernik. So again, there will be no miniatures sold at the premises, which is part of the condition on page 19. If you look at it, condition number 12. All staff employed at the premises will have UK right to work status, which again, in the training manual, it will be up there. There will be a Challenge 25 scheme policy adopted by the Kopernik. The Kopernik has a strict conflict management course carried out by a senior staff of the DPS. So again, that is in force. There is a conflict management agreement or policy put forward in there. May I also stress to the committee that Kopernik is growing up into part of like a Tesco, Aldi, and that growing very fast. They have branches in Luton, they've got branches now growing everywhere. And they are following all the procedures and compliances required by the government and by the law. So that is very, very interesting. And they do not trade after 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, which again, they have their own security on board, which makes life much easier. They also made sure that they always come out and clean the front part of the shop before opening and after closing. There will be bins provided in the front. They will not be serving. I understand there is a concern here by the objector regarding people urinating and drinking, but Kopernik makes sure that if people were mistreating or misbehaving in the public safety, they will not be serving alcohol to those people from the premises, which they have done before. Yeah, and they will take strict action against them and they will report them. So these matters are very seriously looked at by the operator. So, ma'am, I'm happy to take any questions. Mr. Gurpreet Singh is here, happy to take any questions. If you wish, what we are proposing today to the council or to use, ma'am, that the license be granted. We are assuring you that the 4 licensing objectives will be fully promoted and robustly promoted. And all staff, as I said, are fully trained. But I'm happy to take any questions at this very instance. I will put furthermore if required during my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Panchal. Before I go on to my colleagues and anyone else wishing to ask questions, I'd like to throw in the applicant, Gurpreet Singh, to introduce himself and tell us what experience he has doing this type of work before.
Hi there. So as
We can't hear you. You might need to get closer to the screen.
What about now? You guys can hear me?
Yes.
So yeah, I got like 4 years experience in this retail supermarket. I was working as a DPS license holder back in 2019 in Slough with the shop name Sandy Sport Limited, and recently I sold this business.
Chair, I can't hear.
Back here.
Yes. I'm sorry, Gurpreet. You're going to have to get closer to that screen so we can hear you, because officers here can't hear you.
Can you hear?
Can you hear me now?
It is a bit faint, but I think, you know, if you get closer, perhaps you can sit where Mr. Penchal's sitting for a moment, and then you can swap again. Thank you, Mr. Penchal.
You're welcome.
Hi there. So how about now? You guys can hear me?
You may
Sorry,
start.
can you hear him?
Yes, Gurpreet, you may start.
So, yep. So I was running back a shop named 7 Days Food and Wine Limited back in 2019 till 2021. So I sold that business. After that, I moved back here in Greenford, working as a manager with the store named Kopernik Poly Supermarket Limited, with the address line 301 or 307 Greenford Road. It's just opposite to this premises with whom I apply the license for now. So I got a good experience in the retail market from last like 4 years.
Okay. Thank you. Right, I'm going to open it up to questions now. Councillors, Councillor Ball.
Sorry, ma'am. I think we lost connection. We are back. Can you hear us now?
We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you. Councillor Ball.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I just wanted to ask the applicant why the application is for longer than core hours in terms of starting earlier in the morning with alcohol sales than the core hours permit.
Sorry, I can answer that. Sorry, Councillor Bull. The shop opens early in the morning, and people come for shopping early in the morning. So, majority of the Polish, they also supply Polish food and Polish meats and that. So the shop opens very early in the morning at 8 o'clock, and hence we did not want to refuse anybody if they pick up a bottle of wine in the morning to take it away as part of their shopping. So we didn't want to make that into a problem.
Okay, thank you.
It is more a family, Polish family business. If you come to look at the Polish supermarket, it's quite huge. The place is quite huge.
Is it a franchise, Mr.
It is
a franchise?
It is not a franchise, but it is part of the group of a whole Kopernik.
So Gurpreet Singh is going to be working there as a manager?
Yes, he's going to be working there as a manager and a license holder, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, I've got a question for Mr. Gurpreet Singh. Please, Mr. Panchal, I don't want you to answer this question.
Yeah.
Gurpreet Singh, I want you to tell me, what do you understand by the Challenge 25 policy?
With the Challenge 25 policy, so I can't serve anybody underage, and I can like strictly challenge the person who have a doubt in him. Like if you bought any like bottle of alcohol, anything, any cigarettes or tobacco, I can strictly challenge on him, like if I feel he is underage.
Okay, so what sort of experience and how long have you had an experience of selling alcohol? I know you said you worked in stores.
Back from 2019, I applied as a DPS, and I got my DPS license as well. So probably if I say now, it's more than like 3 years.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Right, okay, councillors, any other questions? Angeli, do you have any questions?
I don't think I'm permitted to ask questions, Chair.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that, Mr. Singh and Mr. Panchal. Thank you. Thank you for that. If there are no other questions from the councillors, I'm following my agenda down here. I am now going to invite the responsible authorities. Oh, we don't have any. There's nobody here from the police or the noise nuisance. It's okay. If that's the case, Alison, I guess we go to the objector if there's no other questions.
Yes, if you check whether the objector has any questions, and then he can then go on to make his representation.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Nadeem Rafiq, have you managed to turn your camera on, please? Because we do need to see who you are in order for you to be part of this meeting.
Unfortunately, my camera is not working. Let me have a look if I can fix it. I've been playing around with it. Unfortunately, it doesn't want to come on.
Okay. Well, do you want to put your case forward to Mr. Panchal, to the committee?
Sure. So I've been living around the Greenford area, not too far from the current store, for around 6 years. I have, seen a number of, disturbing incidents in and around the area. I literally live 2 minutes walk, right? I've seen the after effects of, late nights with, drinking on the public streets, people sitting on our, walls outside my house. I've seen urinating, I've seen litter in my driveways, and it's all, mixture of, alcohol cans, glass, you name it, right? Obviously, we don't, know if it's from the Kopernik store, but obviously that's probably one of the 2 stores on walking distance that's open around that sells alcohol that sort of time of night. Obviously, we hear a lot of noises at night. I'm a family of children. And we have had incidents outside where people are fighting, making noises, and that's something that we don't really want to deal with, right? We understand, we love that there's a a good store like Kopernik around, but obviously we have concerns with licensing of alcohol and selling, and having the same instance, if not similar, or is it going to increase that? The fear is maybe increasing the likelihood of the issues that we have been facing to escalate. So it's more on our sort of concern is more on our safety in terms of dealing with it, right? And our concerns also are around, yes, you do say you clean up at the front of your store. Yes, you do have a litter bin, very small inside. In fact, there is no litter bins in around Kopernik store in terms of on the public streets. There was one on the opposite side where that the new store is opening. That was taken away by the council for some reason. There is no litter bins around the area, so there is no that sort of where people put litter away. There is bus stops around the area where people hang around with, and they drink alcohol right next to the Kopernik store. And obviously, as they walk towards wherever direction they're going, they are leaving rubbish behind. And look, it's there, right? It's urinating, littering, and that's our concern, right? Is it going to escalate? The store is moving very same sort of distance, right opposite to where it currently is, and that's my objection.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rafiq. Can I just ask you a question before I go on to
Sure.
the panel here, please?
Sure.
Are you representing yourself, or are you representing a neighborhood group, or how is this?
Myself.
Yourself. Okay, thank you. Right.
And sorry, the reason for that is I wasn't aware that the premises that has been taken over is going to be a Kopernik store. It was just mentioned because I was shopping at the store, because we used to be a different store at the time, a restaurant, again, another supermarket which didn't sell alcohol. and that was closing down. And I was like, why is it closing down? And when I looked out the window, there was a Kopernik, obviously mention of Kopernik applying for license. So that's why I appealed. Not too familiar with other people, they've objected to it, but I just did my part because it concerns me. I live around the area. I'm a family man. I'm happy for the store. I'm more than happy to, business to be open there, but I just need, some assurances of, the after effects of late night. Summer days ahead of us. It's happening right now. People are hanging around late at night. It's a concern, right? 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, when the store closes, I think 11 p.m. is the current store closing time. After the effects of that is what? Yes, it does affect us after that. So yeah, that's why concern.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rafiq. Any questions? Anyone got any questions for Mr. Rafiq before we go on?
Yes, Chair.
Yes, Councillor Jessel.
I do have a question for Mr. Rafiq.
Oh.
I'd just like to know that did you by any chance appeal on the Kopernik store when that first applied for its license?
So that was there. Sorry, that was there before I even moved into the area.
Oh, I see.
So I believe, I think I've been around in 6 years, right? The store was always there. And obviously they are enhancing, they are, been there ever since. So, yeah.
So in those 6 years, may I just quickly ask you that, have you made any other, complaints of concern?
Yeah, so I've made probably, I've called up the local, 111 police, police have attended a couple of times, but sometimes there've been no shows, right? So I've just not bothered because they've not responded, and it's literally, it's wasting my time, the police time. It's people sitting there making a noise. They are not really misbehaving, but we've had a couple of instances where people have, had odd mini fight and they've just gone on their way. But it's there, right? It's the issue is still there, right? I understand Kopernik is doing what they need to when they're opening and closing the store. But after effects for the local area is my concern, right? I'm more than happy, to have a good store around me because it's for me, right? I may shop there, right? But it's just that's my honest opinion.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rafiq. Councillor Ball.
Yes. So Mr. Rafiq, you mentioned problems late at night in the evenings. Have you experienced any problems in the mornings?
I haven't. Unfortunately, not because I'm obviously I work away from home, so I don't know of issues that I can pinpoint at this current state. No, I haven't. To be honest with you, because I don't work from home. I'm always traveling, so no, I haven't.
And I think you said this really, but just to double check, you said that there was the existing branch of Kopernik, and then there's another shop in the area, and you're not sure which of those premises people are buying drinks from that end up causing the trouble that you mentioned.
Yeah, sure. When I moved there into the area, there was actually 3 stores, Kopernik being the main one, the biggest store. There was 2 local newsagents that were selling alcohol. One closed down, I think pre-COVID, and one remains open. So, it depends which direction, right? You've got one that leads towards the A40, which is where the small mini newsagents is. And then you've got Kopernik, which is probably in between the main high street towards the A40. So one's a bigger store, provides more of a, meat, whatever you name it, you've got it, and one's a local news agents that probably just provides the odd essentials for day-to-day passing by traffic. So I don't know where the issue lies, but I have noticed the alcohol, the cans to be imported cans in terms of they're not, I don't know if they're European or some of them are branded Polish beer. That helps. And I'm pretty sure the other newsagents doesn't sell Polish beer. So that's something indicated to me, right? But but it could be a mixture. But yeah, I do see cans of Polish beer and the odd stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else got any questions for Mr. Rafiq before we move on? Mr. Panchal?
Yes, ma'am. I've got a question for Nadeem through you. Isn't it much safer to have a store like Kopernik, who have all the policies and everything in place? Would it not be a nice thing for you to go and visit them and have their number for the DPS, which is happy to have it, and work along with them?
Is that directed to me? Sorry, you said you're going
That's
through the...
directed to you, Mr.
Yeah.
Rafiq.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, thank you for the question. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point to made right there. Yeah, so I've seen a bit of both flavors, right? So I've seen a store that like Kopernik that sells alcohol. I've seen a store opposite which didn't sell alcohol, right? There was, I can't be biased and say, one was better than the other, but, I'm only looking at this current situation, right? I deal with this. I work late at night. I go home. I don't want to be dealing with this late at night, right? When 11, 12, 1 and 1 o'clock in the morning, I don't want to be dealing with all this where I have to look around out the window. There's a fight. There's cans in the, when I literally go out late after work or early morning, there's litter on my driveway. I don't want to be dealing with this. So yes, I get your point, but at the same time, what has Kopernik done in terms of, it's fine doing it outside your store, right? You've got one small bin, which is smaller than a normal, it's just like a house bin, right? Outside your store, right? Do they do regular cleanups of the area? Do they go around cleaning up litter? Because I certainly have to do it around my street and in front of my driveway. I haven't seen them ever do it. I got an email from someone, with that, question was, now we've got Kopernik in around London and Luton and stuff, and and my question back was they were answered in terms of what does Kopernik do for the local area outside of selling alcohol, outside of having a store there? Do they provide services? Do they look at local area, clean up the streets, look around? No, I don't see any of that. So why does it have to be for me to go to Kopernik? Kopernik should, they want this license. They want me to sell alcohol. They can obviously see litter in and around the area. They're walking, probably traveling in by bus or transport or whatever. I don't see, them going around cleaning on my streets and my driveway. So yeah, that's, I don't see that.
Thank you.
So, Chairman, sorry, I'm not finished with the question.
Of
Sorry,
course. Carry on,
Councillor,
Panchal.
my worry here is that Kopernik is a very established branch, and we're not saying that established branches do not break laws. They can come across, but here Kopernik is working very hard in trying to make sure 4 licensing objectives are promoted. When we say cleaning, Kopernik does the cleaning as much as they can near the area. Kopernik have got a policy that if they find people drinking near the Kopernik or near around the area, to report to the police or not sell alcohols to the person that is involved. Okay. Which they've done, not here only, not in here at Greenford, which they do, which okay. Already the branch is there for last 6 years. Things have not worked. So sorry, have they? Yeah, go for it. Sorry,
Mr. Rafiq, let him finish first, and then you can respond.
Sure. Yeah. So and Kopernik is quite happy for Mr. Nadeem Rafiq to go down to the Kopernik and point out that there is a place around where somebody is drinking, because Kopernik does not want to sell alcohol to any street drinkers. That is their policy, not to follow it. Their policy is not to. The idea is to serve to the local family people like Nadeem, to come up and speak and have a relation. Kopernik in the past and everywhere else, they have been part of the community. They have gone to the community. They have supported football teams and cricket teams around the area with their own money, which we can prove. But that's what Kopernik is all about. That is what Kopernik is all going about. But I'm very happy for Nadeem to please come to the shop, and take the DPS's mobile number, and we can take Nadeem's number and work corporately. We do understand, and we did write to Nadeem when his objection came up, and we said, could we sit down and work out? But unfortunately, we were not very cooperative. We were very cooperative with I'm going to put down in my submission. There is not a question, Chairman, so right. I'm going to stop.
Thank you, Mr. Panchal. Mr. Rafiq, did you want to come in now, or can Councillor Jassel ask her question as well?
Sure. Yeah, I'm fine. I think I've said what I needed to.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Jassel.
My question is, thank you, Chair. My question is to Mr. Rafiq. Just earlier you mentioned that you're not here, that you're normally away. So I was just wondering, how often are you looking at all these cans all over the place, and how often do you clear your drive? And the other question I have is also, can you answer, have there been any like major or serious incidents that have happened outside Kopernik that you're aware of?
Thank you, Councillor Jessel.
Thank you, Chair.
So traveling in terms of, I do work outside of Greenford. I work in central London. I travel early mornings. I work till late at night. When I do come home, I have seen the odd instances of litter, people drinking on the walls. Not saying this every day. I mean, I have seen it, but I'm say I can. It's very minimum if I say it, be honest with you. But litter is an image issue for me. I don't want to have the, I come home late at night. I've got family at home. I've got wife and children at home. I don't want to have that mind thinking in my head. Are they okay at home? Is there an issue outside home? Yes, there have been instances of fights around right opposite the street, like where I live, because they're intoxicated. That has been the odd couple, as I mentioned before. No, I don't know of any incidents outside Kopernik. I don't live like eyesight away from it, but I am walking distance from it. I don't know of any incidents that happen outside Kopernik, but I do know of incidents that have happened right next to my home.
Okay, Mr. Rafiq, thank you very much. Are there any other questions, councillors?
Just a quick,
either to
Chairman.
Mr. Panchal, to Mr. Singh, or to Mr. Rafiq. Councillor Ball. Sorry, Mr. Panchal, I'll get back to you in a moment. Councillor Ball.
Yeah, that's right. A question for Mr. Panchal. So we've heard that the applicant would be willing to clean up the area outside the shop and have a bin outside the shop, and also to report to the police if there are street drinkers hanging around outside the premises. Would the applicant be willing to have conditions added to require those to be done as conditions of the license?
Yes, Councillor, because we're doing it anyway. So we are happy to have that as a condition, to say the shop will be clean in front at the opening times and at the closing time, which they are doing anyway. It is part and parcel of their success in the area that will bring it in. If there was a shop dirty, I don't think anybody would go in. I wouldn't go into a shop where there is litter outside. And it will be part of the shop to understand that if they are not clean, nobody's going to come in. So their policy is already there, but we are happy to put it into the condition. We're happy to put the condition also that there will be bins cleared every now and then from outside. We are happy to cooperate with that. And that is one of the reasons that you do not see today any responsible authorities objecting to this application, because we have worked along with the responsible authorities in the past. 6 years now, the Kopernik has been there, opposite which we are talking about, because this is a shop opposite the Kopernik, another one. So it's for 6 years we have been there. We are cooperating with the police. We are working along with the police. And I'm sure our chairman must tell you that we've never come across Kopernik in front of the committee so far. And I'm sure that we will not be coming in front. I'll be surprised if we ever have to come in front of the committee, because that is what Kopernik's policies are, and policies have for their success.
Thank you, Mr. Panchal. The third one I mentioned was, again, something which has been mentioned, but could it be conditioned to...
Yes, sorry, Mr. Rafiq, can you start again, please? Mr. Rafiq.
No, it's Mr. Sorry, John.
It was
it's
still
Mr.
me.
Mr.
Yeah, it was
Councillor Ball.
still me that was... Am I okay to follow up?
Yes, Councillor Ball, I beg your pardon. I got sidetracked with the hands up there.
Oh, right.
I do apologise.
am I all right to? Yes, I'm just following up on the same point, if that's all right.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Yeah. So it's just so Mr. Panchal accepted 2 of the things I said. The third thing I said was, would they accept a license condition that to report any occurrences of street drinking outside, nearby the premises, that they could see to be to the police and the council community safety team? Would that be something that they would be willing to accept?
Yes, we are willing to accept, because we do work along with the police and the local community officers anyway. So we have no problems in accepting that condition be granted, because we're there. We are working with the council, with everybody. That's our main aim. So we don't want to go away from the aim that we are having.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Panchal, is Mr. Singh there? Because he said he's already been working there.
Yeah, he's here.
Yes. Can I quickly ask him, is there CCTV in the premises, inside the premises at the moment?
Yes, ma'am. The CCTV has already been installed.
Okay, thank you.
And, without the CCTV, we normally do not allow anybody to, even if the license is granted, we would say to them, do not operate your premises without a CCTV, because I think it's a mandatory condition that we would like to have.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Rafiq, you had your hand up earlier.
I did indeed. One question that came to mind is, we keep mentioning that we work with the local police and local authorities. Are you putting the statement out that you've had incidents previously and you needed the assistance of the police? And what percentage would you say that's incidents have you had, and how do you deal with it?
I can tell you that in the last 6 years, Kopernik has never had an incident that we just listening from you, that there's a fight quite away from Kopernik or whatever. But every time the police comes up for our references, for our CCTVs, if they are required, because there is a CCTV outside, and for the help of the police for the CCTV or the cooperation the police need, we are always there. The Kopernik is the first shop to say, here we are, do you need anything? And during all the visits, from my experience, because I started the Kopernik myself, we were involved when the first Kopernik came out in Slough. So we've guided them through, and we've never had a problem so far. I'm proud to say that we are very well associated with them. There are no incidents. And there is an incident book. Sorry, there is an incident book, there is a refusal book, and there is also a training manual that we provide. And the incident book will record every visit by the police at the premises. Enforcement officers, police officers from responsible authorities have a duty to go down to the shops that we see to check whether everything is all right or in place, or if there is a complaint, they would come up. But so far, touch wood, we haven't had a problem at Kopernik.
Thank you, Mr.
That is
Panchal.
one of the reasons we've never had any responsible authority object to this application.
Thank you, Mr. Panchal. Okay, are there any other questions from the panel? Okay, if not, then I am going to invite for the summing up.
Ma'am, we would like Nadeem to sum up, so we can sum up after him, please, if it's possible.
Mr. Rafiq, if you've got nothing else that you want to ask, if you can please leave the meeting now.
Okay, thank you very much. I've got nothing, no further questions.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Thank you, Chair. We don't have anything to submit. We are saying we've had enough of the discussions we've had, and we are happy for what the committee decides today, but we feel the license be granted today.
Okay, thank you very much. Alison, just checking, is there anything we've missed? Is there anything else?
I think that's covered everything, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I just wanted to hear that. Okay, well, if that's the case and you feel that you've already summed up, then we will be doing our deliberation now, if that's okay. So this is where I ask Mr. Panchal, yourselves to leave, and Anjali.
Yes, that's fine. Are we coming back at 4 yourselves?
Yes, coming back. Actually, you could say 3:45 if that's okay.
Okay.
Keith, is that okay with you? 3:45, we can come back in.
That's fine with me, yeah.
All right, you can close the live stream now.